Welcome to the Husk Guys Podcast.
We are live. What is up, everybody? It is August 12th on a Tuesday night. We are, 16 days to kick off here? Juices are flowing. Practice is going. We're getting clips out. We're getting hype videos. We're getting all sorts of good stuff that is coming in and out of Husker Nation. And we are here, the Husk Guys, David and my brother Andrew, two pieces of Husk Guys. We are going to go game by game. We're going to make some accurate score predictions, game predictions, record predictions, and run through some prop bets for the season on who's going to win, how many receiving yards, how many touchdowns, defensive tackles, a whole bunch of different things we're going to run through. We're going to have some fun tonight, and hope you guys enjoy listening. So before we get started, quick word. I want you guys to make sure you check out huskguysstore.com. We've got these Tom Osborne hats that we're pretty pumped about. So Tom at huskguysstore.com, we got the Tom Osborne hats. We got If We Die, We Die. We got This Is the Year gear. All of your favorite merchandise across huskguysstore.com, as well as Pipeline Jerky is also featured on the site, pipeline-jerky.com, the official jerky of the Huskers offensive line. Every bag you purchase goes directly to a royalty to the Huskers offensive line, who is back this year. And with that, Andrew, how are we feeling tonight on a Tuesday with 2 weeks out to kick off?
Oh yeah, I mean, I am consuming a record level of content. I mean, it's like my podcast stream. I mean, it's almost embarrassing, but it is just nonstop. It's literally, it's like there's morning shows, there's afternoon shows, there's evening shows, and I happen to have a day off today. And gosh, I felt like I was at work. I was just plowing. I mean, just consuming.
Yeah, I feel like.
I'm just like, what happened to Archie Wilson? Oh my God, I love this guy. I mean, I'm breaking down in tears over here, over him missing his family. Like I'm engaged. I'm ready.
Netflix has got us teed up where you're so deprived that they put out that quarterback show. I don't know if you've seen that, or the SEC back behind the scenes documentary, but both very good, just like football deprived. And the SEC one in particular, that gets the juices going because they got a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff going on. They got crowds and fans, and it's gonna be a fun season. I think I think the 12 team keeps things interesting. 12 team playoff keeps things interesting the entire season. The Huskers are right back in it. Let's talk football. Should we talk some football?
Oh God, I still can't believe it's back. You know, like it's not back yet, but it's back, and it's been back, and I can't get enough.
I think one of the things I feel like I say this every year, and I said this on a podcast right around August of last year, is how healthy I feel right now as a human, and how like I have this like 9 months
like a juice cleanse.
Well, I have this 9 month stretch where
it's just Kool-Aid.
But I think I'm about to like dip, right? Like there's a 9 month stretch where I get like super healthy. I don't drink as much. I exercise like crazy. I get super fit. I'm mentally sharp. Like I'm able to focus on different things. And then we enter this period now where like I don't read any books. We just, you just are stress eating for like 3 straight months. You're like staying up till midnight watching Tuesday night games. Then you can't wake up on Wednesday. Then you stay up till midnight on Saturday tweeting. It's like I head down this very dark spiral over the next 3 months that I always like take stock of how healthy I feel right now.
It's it might not be dark though.
Well, regardless, either way, the behavior of a football watching fan is wildly unhealthy the entire season.
Yeah,
because my Twitter usage is 3 hours
all the time. Yeah. Every Saturday, she's like, "Where were you?" I was like, "I was right here."
I mean, you're talking 3 hours of Twitter usage a day. You're just like, I mean, that's not healthy for anybody. And I justify it by saying it's for the audience. It's like you shouldn't be doing that. Like and it's like I go from Twitter to the big screen back. Anyway, we're at the healthiest phase. Could be good.
Yeah,
but let's jump into talking about the season. I just so I just tweeted this today because I was doing a ton of diligence on the season, which we're about to talk about.
Okay.
And specifically, what I was struck by, because you're a doctor. For those who don't know, Andrew's a doctor. He's not actually a full-time podcaster. I was trying to think of like what's the actual.
Does not pay as well as you'd think.
Yeah, I didn't
the
have
podcasting part.
I didn't have time to be to Google this, which is usually what I do when I have a healthy ailment. What's it called when you when you experience trauma and you just like black out like all the things that happen, right? Like you repress those thoughts. What is that? Just repressing your thoughts?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, basically, I like literally looked at this list, which basically said I did some homework on the schedule. I'm struck by how many losing streaks we need to turn around. We've lost the most recent game to 7 of the teams on our schedule, and I was shocked.
Couldn't remember.
I was like,
a single one.
What do you mean we lost to Maryland? What do you mean we lost to UCLA? I was like, oh wait, I guess UCLA was like 6 months ago, and I completely fully forgot about it. So we've got 7 losing streaks going on right now. Minnesota, we've lost 5 straight. I legitimately was like, whoa, I cannot believe that. USC, we've never beaten in the history of the program. So we are 0-5 against USC. Michigan, they beat us 4 straight. I kind of knew that one because they've beat the doors off us the last 4 times we played. Michigan State's beaten us twice in a row, which my only memories of Michigan State are of beating them. So I clearly just repressed all of those Michigan State ones. Iowa's 2, which is great. Maryland at 1, UCLA at 1. And then as I look at Iowa, didn't we beat Iowa 2 years ago? Do I have that number wrong? We most recently beat Penn State, which is interesting.
3 years. It's been 3 years.
Was it 3 years? God,
two straight walk-offs.
I'm trying to justify my existence here. We beat Penn State most recently. We beat Northwestern most recently. Akron and Cincinnati, we beat them in 1906, not to brag. But I don't know. Does that not surprise you? I was legitimately like, oh my God, we have not beaten any of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, the one that stands out obviously is Minnesota. It's just like, what? How did this even happen? And then the second one is I forgot that we actually started. I think we started 2-1 against Michigan in conference.
Yeah.
And then we've lost the last 4, and Michigan has won a national title since that time.
Yeah.
Just it's like I forgot things used to be pretty good in our favor there.
Yeah. Yeah, we beat them. I remember we beat them with Pelini in 2011, 2012. I was like, this team stinks. And they did stink. They were not good. They were just not a very good program. And they went all the way down to the depths of the deepest depths of Michigan football, came out of them and won a title.
Yeah. Well, so I was actually just going to say, one thing that gives me hope every single season is seeing other blue bloods that have been where we've been. Tennessee being one of them, just a complete revolving door at their head coaches, and now they're back in the playoffs almost every year or whatever. Last year didn't go great, but that's okay. They were there. Michigan, another good example. I mean, we won 2 out of 3 against them, and it has not gone the same for us as it has gone for them. And so people that are just Nebraska will never win on the big stage again. People said that about Michigan. People said that about
Wisconsin.
They said that about Tennessee when Tennessee was missing bowl games. It's it happens. It's been longer for us. It has been more painful for us. We are the most tortured fan base in all of college football, but we're back, baby.
Back, baby. Okay. So here's how we're going to do this, folks. We're going to go month by month, and then we're going to jump back to some prop bets that we've got teed up. So the first month, we are going to talk about September. So September, we talked a little bit about this in Pick 6 previews last week, but we want to take a little bit more depth here. So we got Cincinnati, we've got Akron, we've got Houston Christian, and we got Michigan. Let's talk about Cincinnati first. Thursday night, August 28th. It's at Arrowhead. Taylor Swift just announced on Travis Kelce's podcast. He'll be there. Her new album. She might be there. He'll be there. Everybody's going to talk about Mahomes and Rayola and how they look alike.
I gotta say, to start with, that might be the scariest part of this, is if the Swiftie army is against us.
Why would they be against us? Because he looks like Mahomes. So they should be for us.
He went to Cincinnati.
Oh, God, duh, I'm an idiot.
Travis Kelce did, dummy.
That's a problem.
So that's why they're going to be there.
I thought we had the Mahomes thing. Yeah,
we think. Yeah, it's
plus
great.
Some of the boys will be there. All right, so this is an interesting one. Pick 6 previews, who we had last week, was saying he's not too worried about it. Cincinnati went 5-7 last year. It's Scott Satterfield's 3rd year.
Yeah.
They're improved rushing offense and defense. They've got a pretty good QB, but they did lose basically their entire offensive line. From a 5-7 team, lost all their offensive line and their top 6 receivers and their best running back. So they have a quarterback that comes back, but basically no production coming back. And then further anecdote, we basically bought every single ticket for the entire game. So
it's literally going to be Nebraska fans. And then, like, you know how in Memorial Stadium they have that like little corner up in like the north end zone? That's where the Cincinnati fans are going to be.
They also
in Arrowhead, just a little pocket of like of people wearing Bearcat gear.
So they said 62,000 tickets we're estimating have been sold for Nebraska fans, which is 90+%. But then the only way that they backed out of how many they think are from Cincinnati or from like Ohio area code or zip codes, which could also be Nebraska fans, if we're being real. It could be like Nebraska fans from Ohio traveling to Arrowhead.
Hell yeah, they're like we'll go to Kansas City. That's basically down the street for the Midwest.
Yeah. So we got the bowl.
Home field advantage, big time. One thing about Sorsby, so he was at Indiana in 2023.
Right.
He was a Big Ten QB that went 2-8 and got his coach fired, and then he didn't do so good. And then he went 5-7 last year as well at Cincinnati. My only concerns on them, so they did end up top 40 in total offense last year. They were a pretty decent rushing offense. They were 20th in yards per carry, 11th in explosive runs. And Sorsby actually led the team in rushing touchdowns. So we have to expect that he's going to be running. My concern in that game just ends up being like, I know that I've got some pretty good confidence in our defensive line versus their completely revamped offensive line. But that could be a test. Like, we were so strong rushing or stopping the rush last year. And I think that this just ends up being a little bit closer than we would realize. Now, I do like our offense versus their defense. And I'm going to give the Huskers the nod. I like us to win by like 6 and not cover the spread there.
Okay. Yeah, I think the concerns of this are because we are broken as a fan base and a team in these season openers, where I think we won the season opener like 60 straight years or whatever under Tom Osborne. And then Frost lost every single season opener. So it's like that just became like the season just ends in September. So I think that the concern of, do we start flat? It's a Thursday night game. It's kind of weird. It's in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Do things start weird? Do they start slow? It's brand new, all the new players, it's their first time playing together. So I think there's plenty of concerns there, but I think the concerns are eased a bit by Cincinnati has the same problems. They got a whole bunch of new guys starting too. So I think optimistic for this one. It'd be so depressing to start 0-1. And so I can't even think about that.
Just can't even go there.
Yeah. It's just like purely an emotional play.
Yeah. I mean, and their best receiving option is their tight end. This guy, Joe Royer, fun fact, had the most receptions by a tight end in a season since Travis Kelce at Cincinnati. The other thing would just be like our secondary, I think, is pretty seasoned. We have a lot of returners. I mean, we have a pretty solid 2 deep. It might not be like the most elite secondary, but it's a solid, like experienced, talented secondary. And their best returning wide receiver has had 3 catches for 22 yards last year. So other than their tight end. So I like that advantage there. Like that, those things have got to give you at least a little bit of confidence that Cincinnati is so much new. They were 4-8. Their quarterback has not had a winning season as a starter. You got to like what the Black Shirts are going to be able to do, I think. And then our offense will figure it out.
All right. So you think W for them?
Yep. 1-0 for both.
All right. 1-0. We're moving to the Akron Zips game 2. And forgotten about this until I did a little bit more of the homework. This is a redo of Scott Frost's original Husker debut in 2018.
Talk about past drama.
Yeah. Which I was actually trying to remember. Was this the one that we were in Minnesota for or no?
Yeah. Yeah, we were there.
Minnesota?
Drinking, having a good time, getting so pumped for the opener.
I mean, that was absolutely like seismic.
The crowd
Like,
was just jacked.
that was
And
the
then
tunnel walk.
the tunnel
like,
walk. And then the lightning bolts struck down from God. Struck
Yeah.
down Scott Frost as our coach forever. He was cursed.
Oh man, and that just never recovered. I mean, does that change everything? Because we lost the next game, which was basically his Ben actual first game.
We lost all of them. We lost every game.
Yeah, but we also just I looked this up. Only other time we've played or were supposed to play Akron was 1997.
Great.
In
which
which
Scott Frost was the quarterback.
Scott Frost was also the quarterback.
A lot of Akron history with him.
The offense got off to a fast start, rolling up 644 yards in a 59-14 win.
That's awesome.
And it was a 300th win in Memorial Stadium. Fun fact for you. This Akron team, probably the same talent level of that team we beat. They're 4-8 last year. It's a tune-up game. We're paying them $1.5 million for them to come home. But it's a game that we have struggled with the last 5-6 years of just like these easy teams we bring in and somehow we grind it out. You got to find a way to win. But ideally, you've got some backups playing by the second half.
Yeah, I mean, even UTEP last year, it took a little longer than we wanted it to for the to really blow up their spots there, but ultimately did. Another random upside tidbit: Akron not doing their job in the classroom. They failed to meet academic progress requirements. They are ineligible to play in their conference title, and they cannot play in a bowl game. And they've also had 8 wins combined the last 3 seasons. So not going great there. They were 4-8 last year. They won 2 wins won 2 games the year before that, and then 2 the year before that. So, boy, if we have any sort of struggle with Akron, just at least we get Houston Christian the next week.
Yeah. So 2-0. I think we're both comfortable in the 2-0 spot here. Houston Christian comes to town Saturday, September 13th at Lincoln. They were 5-7 last year. I think there's not even a ton. I don't know. There isn't a ton of research out there. It seems like a lot of folks are not spending too much time on it.
I mean, they're a losing FCS team, right? Like they're
a losing FCS team that nobody even knows what or where they're from.
And we certainly appreciate them coming to Lincoln, and everybody should be thankful that they are a sacrificial lamb for the FCS. There's no doubt about that. They gave up 34 points per game last year.
Yeah.
Then they lost 59-7 to the only FBS team that I think the only FBS team they played, SMU, 59-7. But they beat Louisiana Christian. That must be a rivalry game, don't you think? Houston Christian versus Louisiana Christian.
All the Southern Christian teams.
It's the holy war down there.
The thing is,
we beat them 70-7, so they can score.
Say we're 3-0 headed into this.
Michigan.
Heading into Michigan before we get to Michigan.
Yeah,
I think it's our job to build up the entire hype train for the entire off season.
Sure.
The thing that we've it's so much in the last decade is we always come out of these first 3 games just limping, and it's even last year it was all right, Rail was good, but kind of clunky. It was uncomfortable. You've got the opportunity coming out of these 3 to be Rail threw for 470 yards against Akron. You kind of have we just have never had that. It's always just kind of
juice.
Yeah, you always kind of game manage through. We had the Colorado game last year. We haven't had that blowout where it's Emmett Johnson had 5 touchdowns.
Right.
There's not, you don't even get that before you have the harsh reality of Michigan. It's more just we kind of look okay.
Yeah. I mean, we really got to take care of business against Cincinnati too. That I just think they're a little bit of a tougher test than people would realize. We're only favored by 6.5 right now. That's a touchdown. Yeah. And historically, 1-score games.
Who, us?
I'm just saying we got to take care of business against them, and then those take care of business games against Akron and HCU. Which, fun fact, it used to be HBU. Did you know that? They used to be Houston Baptist, and then they went through what do you call it in the tech? A rebranding.
A revival?
Rebranding as Houston Christian.
They get rebaptized?
Bigger catchment of more holy people. I don't know. But Anyway,
In 2022?
you're right. In 2022, yeah,
That
they
was
were
like last year.
They were Houston Baptist for the
All new helmets.
They still, if you Google image Houston Christian, there's HBU at midfield on a lot of them.
HBU is kind of better. It's like halfback university. It's kind of got a little catch to it.
So like, I don't know if those are just outdated photos or what, but I'm like, oh my God, maybe they just kept the old logo just because it's too expensive to change.
Incredible.
Oh gosh. Anyways,
all right.
We got to take care of business. Let's be 3-0.
Michigan. And Michigan's an interesting one. So, I mean, as I think we've got a pretty good pulse on the fans across the board. And like anytime we put out ridiculous things about maybe we'll start 8-0 or, what if we win all of our games? Like this one, everyone comes back to just like auto loss is what's sort of interesting to me about this one is that I get it. They're Michigan. They won a title 2 years ago.
Okay.
I think what I struggle with Michigan is I just really was unimpressed with them pretty much every game last year, besides maybe Ohio State. And I'm not impressed with Sharon Moore. I think their offense was a total catastrophe last year. Their defense was like okay, not great. That title team lost basically every player that left, and so I think that they're starting a freshman or starting a sophomore. That I think I understand they probably still have more talent than us, but I don't know. This one I keep kind of going back and forth on where I know that they've got good players. I know they got this 5-star quarterback, but so do we. They got Ernest Hausman, which I don't love. He's a Husker, former Husker linebacker, so that's not a fun one. But yeah, I think, the 4-game losing streak, I think people are kind of broken by that. And the fact that they won a title recently, people feel like Michigan is heavily favored in this game. I don't know. I'm still a little bit I'm not fully sold on this being just the guaranteed loss that people think it is.
Interesting. Yeah. This is probably actually the hardest pick of the entire schedule, if you ask me. Because on the upside, they're coming in with, freshman quarterback. I got that. But he'll already be a little bit battle tested. They return 65% offense production. We like that. That's 41st in the country. They lost their 2 starting running backs who were both studs, Chloe Mullen and
but they were returning production from a bad offense. So it's
no, I know. And it's not that that's not that much. 65%.
No, they're returning no production from a bad offense. It's a double bad.
From their offensive line they lost 6 O-linemen to the NFL 2 years ago, which was like a record at the time. And then they lost 2 more all Big Ten O-linemen this last year. So they returned 3 starters, but they are also revamping that O-line. Their O-line last year that they lost 2 all Big Ten dudes from was 107th in run push. Their pass offense was 131st, and their scoring offense 113th. They do gain Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall in the backfield. They're going to be studs. They're going to be hard to stop. But Michigan's bread and butter under Sharon Moore, remember, he was running the offense for a couple of years before he became the O coordinator, and they were very good. They won a national title. Their bread and butter is going to be running the ball still. I think they're going to take all the pressure that they want to off of Bryce Underwood. The downers for us that I see in that game, so far, is they might be the best defense that we face this year. Last year, they were the number 3 rush defense per play. They were the number 11 pass defense per play. But their D-line sent 3 more players to the pros. So maybe our offensive line versus their defensive line is more of an even battle. I don't like playing Ernest Hausman. That sucks. I wanted to root for him, but now I have to hope that he gets destroyed. But I just think it's actually a way more even battle than our fans realize. Even though they probably have more talent overall, they're still working through some stuff, and they're still in the first month of the season, and it is at home, and we are rolling out the red carpet. I mean, I think that game is the 1995 title team reunion. I mean, talk about last year, that was Colorado. That was the 1994 team reunion. They're rolling out the red carpet, baby. It's the Bussin' with the Boys Bowl. It's at home. It's a prime game, 2:30. I mean, I think we edge it out.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It's a spicy take. I talk to me after game 3. And I might revise my pick. Preseason right now. Oh, and they don't have Sharon Moore during the game. Like they don't have their head coach. He's suspended during the game
for the first 3-4 games, or what?
I think it's I can't remember, but I know for that game that he will not be on the sidelines for them.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, because they play Oklahoma.
Which Michigan rarely has a head coach anymore. Like remember Jim Harbaugh? He was barely out there for the last.
He barely coached any of the title games.
He was just like
they play Oklahoma week 2. Do you think they win that game?
Maybe not. I think Oklahoma's actually pretty good. I mean, John Mateer may or may not be their quarterback.
So good. Real quick, what a story! For those not paying attention,
take a left turn for that story.
The Oklahoma quarterback, for those who have not seen, they dug through his Venmos. John Mateer, the transfer from Washington State, who's Oklahoma's starting quarterback, and in his Venmos, he literally was sending to his friends. It said, "What did it say? Gambling,
sports gambling,
USC versus Oregon, or whatever game he was gambling on, UCLA." And then he had 3 straight Venmo transactions that were basically just like sports gambling on sports. Which is like just
try so much harder than how you're trying right now.
He came out today and said he was
trying
joking.
And try way harder than that.
He came out today and said he was joking, and was like, "Yeah, totally." So is Shohei Ohtani. So is Pete Rose. Anyway, all right. I just don't know. It'll be interesting if they come in 3-0 to that game, or 2-1. And I'm not sure which one's better for us, because maybe it's better than
3-0. That's the game day game.
3-0, it's a game day game, but 2-1, we see some holes in the Oklahoma. They have less confidence. They're not coming in rolling. I think they come in pretty confident with an Oklahoma win. We'll see. So you got to win. I'm still hovering on the fence, because I think there's this. I'm my record in my head is 10-2, where we're going to land, and I haven't I think Penn State's a loss, but I'm I don't know if it's guaranteed to be Michigan. I just feel there's that. I just feel like everybody has written us off in this game. That I'm for the sake of this pod, I'm going to hold to it. That I think this is the loss plus Penn State. Those are the two.
You don't have to feel bad about
it. No, but I just I
think it's the more rational take to say
I want to be
they probably have more talent. They've kind of been there before. They've got
my problem is I don't
their defense. Their defense might be elite. We might struggle all day.
I think we land 10-2, but I do not want to say oh, we're going to lose to Iowa and Penn State and be 10-0 and then finish 10-2. That's the worst. That's the worst pick of all time. So, all right. So I'm there. I'm at a loss, but you're at a win. I like that. So you're 4-0.
Yeah. It's like I thought before this show, I might say that we would lose. But I just we are literally rolling out the red carpet in that game. And it's just going to be so
it's
big.
Like a Colorado-esque environment.
I just think it's even. They've got a great defense, but our offense should be better. I don't know how much better their offense is, and I think our defense is good. So it's just a good.
Okay.
I think it's a solid Big Ten matchup.
So you're 4-0 in September. I'm 3-1. Let's do some prop bets. What do you got?
Yeah. I thought I had a good time with these. Let's start it up at the top. So first question for those that are not on a visual medium here. I posed to the crowd, how many 800-yard receivers and or rushers will we end up with? And I thought that 800 was a solid number to put out there. We had 5% answered 0, 16.5% answered 1, 56.4% answered 2, and then 3 people got 22%. So the most people, and with a slight majority there, is said 2. I think that that would mean Evan Johnson gets to 800 rushing yards, and then maybe Dane Key or Ja'Cory Barney. What would you put on that?
Well, I mean, it's if we're gonna have a good season, Evan Johnson needs 800 and Dane Key needs 800. So that's 2 guaranteed. I would probably lean closer to 3, because I do think we're probably going to be closer to a 3-horse offense than we
Max,
like. Like I think we
Jacory
want to
light it
have
up,
this
too.
like, yeah, you have Jacory or even Hunter.
Yeah.
That becomes like a really, really good third option.
Yeah.
800's kind of a lot. Like I don't think we'll have 2 rushers with that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm between 2 and 3. I think guaranteed 2, which is why it probably has 56%. And
Yeah.
3 would be like outstanding.
Oh, that's a huge year.
Because 3, I mean, if you factor in, I guess you're not talking about kick return, punt return, but if you have Barney back on kick return, punt return, that's a guaranteed 3 total all-purpose yards.
Right. Yeah. No, I think 3 would be 3 would mean Dana Holgerson's magic is working and working quickly, working early and often.
Yeah. Okay.
How many wins? So it looks like the heavy majority of the crowd, we had 47.5% answer 8, and then we had 40.8% out of the 180 votes. 40.8% said 9+, so 8 or 9. Just 8.4%, and then 3.4% answered 0 to 6 or 7. So heavy majority feeling the overs in Vegas this year. The over
7.5, right?
7.5. So there we go, Husker Nation. We're with you, and we'll get to our numbers later. Next one down. We had how many of our wins will be 1 possession wins? 0, 1, 2, or 3. And the FD majority there, we had 30 was at 3. 3 1 possession wins. God, we are in for a nail biter. And then the
I'll take it though.
39.6% said 2, and that was of 164 votes.
3 1 possession wins.
Oh, that'd be insane.
It'd be we've probably never done that in the last decade. So it's quite literally never happened. I'll take 1. 2 would be outstanding. 3 would be unbelievable.
All right, let's do 2 more before we get back to the schedule. So Emmett Johnson, he has 598 rush yards. He has 286 receiving yards, 39 return yards on his career for 923 total over the last 2 years. So how many all-purpose yards will he have this year? And the options were less than 1,000, 1,001 to 1,250, 1,251 to 1,500, or 1,500 plus. And the heavy majority came in on 1,001 to 1,250. I am going to be I'm an Emmett Johnson truther. I think just after we saw what we saw against Wisconsin and his usage, that is like what I have in my head as the predictor of this season and how like they want their ideal back to be used. I mean, you even saw it with Ramir Johnson last year a little bit too. Catching, 2-3 balls out of the backfield and then taking 10 or 12 carries or whatever it was in the Pinstripe Bowl, a couple to the house. So I think he's going to have a lot of catches. I think Emmett might come close to, maybe 50 receptions. Our school record all time is 75 by Marlon Lucky, and that was like the last close thing that we had to kind of that pro style, like dump it off offense if nothing's working. So I could see it at 1,251 to 1,500, totally doable. It's crazy that our running backs used to rush for more than that.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm saying on purpose.
I think the only way he goes under 1,000 if he gets hurt or benched.
Sure.
Because I think for lack of other options we have right now, he's going to get a ton of touches. He's going to get a ton of carries. He's going to be a big part of the offense. It's anything less than that is like very likely you've got some problems. He's hurt or doesn't play. I think most people being at 1,250, it probably feels right just because we haven't seen it. And I think because we haven't seen it, 1,500 feels completely unattainable, but it's also like, it's not that unattainable. And that 1,500 to me comes in. It's like, if you pump up some stats in those first 3 games too, right? Like if he puts up 200 yards rushing against, Houston Baptist Christian University.
True. That's
it's like you break a couple. I just feel we haven't had any player rack up big yards against these non-con games ever, and so then we get into the Big Ten schedule, and it's like, oh, weird, you had 40 yards rushing against Iowa. Like, yeah, duh. So it's like most of these yards have to come in these non Michigan, Iowa, Penn State games.
Yeah. I mean, the way I would see it overall for that question is if he gets 20 touches a game and he averages over 5 yards per touch, he's averaged 5.1 yards per carry, I believe, on his career. So, and then for reception, he's like over 7. So you're going to get over 100 all-purpose yards per game.
Yeah, I just think the big knock is he's just not that big, and can he handle a full season of full season of Big Ten football? But
fair.
All right.
Back
to come through October. October is so we're 4-0 or 3-1, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
We're heading into October. We've got Michigan State. We've got Maryland. We've got Minnesota, and we've got Northwestern, of which I let off at the top of the show. 3 of these 4 teams we most recently lost to, which still shocks me. But Michigan State is a very interesting one. So Saturday, October 4th, Jonathan Smith's in his second year. And it's kind of a tough one to read. Michigan State's starting to get a lot more buzz, which I don't like. I don't like when any team on our schedule gets any positive buzz at all in the offseason. Jonathan Smith's got his second year. He's kind of a known program builder. He's got this 5-star QB in Aiden Childs. Who's a lot of people like, big arm, a lot of looseness. But they're 5-7 last year. They're just not that good. They're a dumpster fire. When Mel Tucker left, he left them in complete shambles. They're heavily relying on the transfer portal.
That was the most insane scandal of all time.
Of all time. Yeah. Run them out of there.
Michigan State has had so many sexual scandals. What is that problem?
So many. So, it's an interesting one. I think, it is crazy. Like, again, you talk about the trauma that I've experienced. I totally blacked out that disaster Michigan State finish where they brought that kickback in 22 or whatever that was. So we have lost the 2 most recent to them. This is fresh off the Michigan game. So it's fresh off the emotion of a crazy Michigan matchup. And yeah, it's like, I guess I looked at this most of the offseason as like, they stink. They're 5-7 last year. They're one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. They're coming in preseason ranks 15th to 16th in the Big Ten, depending on where you look. And it's a second-year program that just is having a really hard time. So I write this one up as a win, but I'm getting more nervous as the offseason goes on. The more people start to say, like, watch out for Michigan State. I'm like, no, stop saying that.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start with things that scare me about the game. They actually bring back a good amount. They have got a stud quarterback in Aiden Childs. I think he was a 5-star quarterback. He's starting for a second season. They found that they have an absolute weapon out wide with Nick Marsh last year, who's going to set all kinds of school records. They are 16th overall in returning offensive production. Okay. They are 35th in returning defensive production. And they've actually added in the portal, decently well on that side of the ball. They also have a full-grown adult coming in at defensive end. He's a 7th-year senior. So anytime you've got an additional coach on the sidelines and playing in the game, he's a 7th-year senior. That's tough. That's a extra leadership boost there. And Michigan State, coming off the bye week and stuff as well. I don't like that. We are coming off of a bye week as well. I will clarify. The positives for us. Their offense was a stink bomb. Just a bomb full of stinky. They were 19.3 points per game, was 123rd. Their rushing offense was 111th in the country. They lost two linebackers. They lost 3 defensive linemen. In the last 3 years, they have been, per Pick 6 previews, 59th, 66th, and 51st in the game grader. And their pass defense kind of stunk. So all of those things say this is a no-brainer. I don't know what it is about this game and Aiden Childs, and just like I think we might drop this one after the big game against Michigan.
Oof.
Now here's the deal. I'm going to put a big asterisk on this. I'm going to come back and I'm probably going to predict that we win when we.
Cover your bases. Smart.
After we beat Michigan.
Yeah, it's smart. Cover your bases.
But right now,
pick on both sides. You can
There's
never be wrong.
something about this, like, I don't know. You're riding the high, and then they come in and they have this kind of dynamic quarterback, a stud out wide. They added a couple good players in the transfer portal. They've got one of the better tight ends in the entire Big Ten. Just like these random guys that can really hurt you. And I don't like that. But I'm pretty sure they're going to be bad, and I'm pretty sure we're going to win. There's enough of me that says it's more even than we'd realize, that the could be one of those emotional drop games that we should.
I agree with all those things, and I think but this is, to me, some of this too, and is maybe unfair to put on a rule, but you're like, your year 3 rule versus year 2 Jonathan Smith. He's got all his guys in. He's got his 5-star quarterback. He's got a pretty stable offensive. Like, this is a game that if you're Rule, you got to win to be in that year 3 jump. You can't be losing to a guy who's like still in a dumpster fire with a terrible offense and can't figure things out. Like, you kind of can't lose that game.
Yeah.
And I also I'm looking at their schedule right now. They play Boston College, our
Warriors.
So they're losing that game September 6th.
They're gonna get beat the hell up.
And then they lose to USC the week before they play us, or 2 weeks before their bye week. So there's a potential that they're pretty banged up after a couple tough games. They don't quite have the cake schedule to start. They play Western Michigan, who's always good, then BC, then Youngstown State, then USC. So I always look at the schedule to see what kind of mental state they're in, and hopefully they're 2-2 heading into the game and not riding a 4-0 high like some of these other teams. So
right,
I think we win this handily. Is sort of where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're back to
again, I'm leaving the door wide open for me to revise my pick in October when I find out that they are stinky again.
Yeah.
I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay. And I was wrong.
So we're both at 4-1 then, heading into game 6 at Maryland. This one shocked me that I totally forgot we lost to Maryland most recently.
And that one sucked.
Yeah,
that one was a big one.
But so this one's Saturday, October 11th. It's in College Park. Loxley is head coach of Maryland. He's in his 7th year. They're 4-8 last year, and this guy has completely lost his locker room, as he even admitted last year. They totally collapsed at the end of last year. Their former star Tagovailoa, the brother of Tua, was there. He left last year. They finished 4-8. They're coming into the season preseason 17th or 16th, depending on which preseason poll you're looking at. He has said many times, Loxley has said that their roster is getting raided by other Power 4 programs. Their defense collapsed. They're not able to put up the NIL money to pay at the same level that major Power 5 programs are. Power 4 programs. They've got a couple QBs, Justin Martin and Malik Washington, so they've got something going on there. But there's even some Maryland folks out there. If you look at kind of the verse, or the what's going on in the Maryland Twitterverse, they're pretty distraught about the state of the program. They think it's kind of broken at this point. CBS has them 16th. Pick 6 preview has them 17th out of 18 in the Big Ten. So it'll be an interesting game. I think because of all these things, because of the lack of talent they have, the lack of transfer portal talent they have coming in, and the fact that I think they lost like 7 straight games last year. This is not a team on a very strong momentum for us that again fits into a game that Rule can't lose. What do you think of these guys?
That I think you pretty much said it there. Like, this is a stinky roster, and you got to take care of business against these guys. The only part that really scares me against them, they got this dude Malik Washington. I believe he is trending to be their starting quarterback. He was like number 10 overall in the most recent cycle, and the dude can run. He's a quick guy. You just never know. Sometimes there's those college quarterbacks that absolutely come out of nowhere. He's going to almost certainly be a one and done for them. He's just beefing up his resume by being a starting quarterback at Maryland and then going elsewhere. I can almost guarantee you. But the positives for us and why we end up winning, they stink. They were 1-8. to finish last year. They somehow beat USC, but the rest of their games, I mean, even some tough losses in there. They lost their entire secondary, 7 defensive backs. They're 92nd in returning defensive production per our friend Brett at Pick Six Previews. They are 112th in returning offensive production. The whole roster
from a bad offense too.
From a not good team.
Yeah.
And they have 2 new coordinators.
Yeah, forget it.
Coordinator, new defensive coordinator.
Forget it.
Their 2-year transfer rank, they haven't replaced it. 57th in their 2-year transfer ranking. So they haven't brought much in to replace what is leaving. I don't even know who's left there. So I can't say anything but a win for us.
Okay, I'm going to win. So we're, pumping the Kool-Aid here. We're heading into Game 7, both at 5-1.
Sure.
That puts you very strongly in the top 25.
Oh, we're in. Yeah.
And especially if we've got a Michigan win and maybe a stinky loss, like, I don't know, even a 5-1 record with a Michigan loss, I'd like to think puts you in the top 25. So your top 25 going to Minnesota. Minnesota is one of the games that definitely concerns me quite a bit. Saturday, October 18th in Minneapolis. PJ Fleck's in his 9th year, which is insane. I don't know what to do with PJ Fleck. I don't really understand. I think he's done a fine job up there. And it's very confusing to me why like a real program hasn't come and gotten him, and like, but also why like Minnesota won't get rid of him. It's like he's got the most confusing tenure to me of any coach. They were 8-5 last year. Go ahead.
It's like their longest winning tenure of all time.
Yeah, but it's weird that like why does Mississippi State not come get him or something? Like he can. It's like why does and insert any program that's better than Minnesota, which are most every program out there. Poach them. I don't know. So they're 8-5 last year. They had a very, very strong defense, one of their best in 2024. They shifted way more into a pass first approach last year. Defensive coordinator got poached, went to Miami. They keep losing a lot of talented coaches. Offensive line was not very good. 110th in OL run push. They've got a strong safety, an All-American freshman in Coy Parrish.
He's just tough.
And I think it's a tough stretch for us because we're going from Michigan to Michigan State to Maryland to Minnesota. And then the last one, which again, similar to the Ernest Hausman, we are going up against Malachi Coleman.
Classic. He's got to perform. He's got to perform if he wants that money.
What do you think of these guys?
Yeah. So positives first. Minnesota, they actually lost a good amount, but they replaced a good amount. Positives, though, 102nd in returning production on offense. They return only 43%. They got transfers pretty much everywhere, including Mal Coleman. New quarterback, I generally like playing a first-time starter in their first year. Like sometimes you don't even know if they're going to be the starter and stuff that time around, like depending on how the year goes. But Drake Lindsay takes over for Max Brosmer there. I like that Cam Davis is one of their transfer running backs coming in. He is another 7th-year senior. He is a transfer player. I think he's a journeyman. He's coming off of 2 knee replacements and a hip replacement and a cardiac defibrillator that have been implanted all in the off season to keep him going for another. Just kidding. Keeping him going for another year. Oh man. And then the other positive that I'm going to throw in there, they have this thing called the Havoc defense, and I have no idea what this is, but this kind of stupid acronym stuff is what just makes me want to beat the doors off of PJ Fleck. The Havoc stands for How, Attack, Violence, One, Compete. And that is the stupidest sentence. If that were a sentence, I mean, it's not a sentence. That's like it's how an alien learns how to talk. Their new defensive coordinator is 32 years old, which is insane. I mean, are you kidding me with that? 32? The Downers, though. The Downers, their transfer rank, they replaced pretty well. Their transfer rank was 29th. They have 4 projected draft picks. That puts them at 20th. Coy Parrish, he can play all over the field. In fact, was even like sampled in their offense, like a Travis Hunter and stuff in the spring and summer. And then they had a top 10 scoring defense, top 5 in total defense, and 9th in passing defense. I don't like those things. I don't like Raiola going on the road on a Friday night against what should be a solid defense again. I don't think they'll be as good of a defense as last year. I also don't know that their offense is going to be that good, though. I have us winning this game, but it is a like sphincter tightening, like coming down to a field goal. I think we pull it out, but it is going to be a bruiser.
Yeah, I would say I'm still here, by the way. I don't know what happened to my camera, but
yeah, turn your camera on.
Yeah, we're here. I'm here somewhere. I gotta fix this. I'm probably most nervous about this game because everybody sort of chalked it up as a win, and they've beaten us 5 straight times, and that to me is very concerning. I also am looking at their schedule. They might be 5-0 themselves, looking at us. So they played Buffalo, Northwestern State, Cal, Rutgers. Those are all wins. They'll lose to Ohio State. They'll smash Purdue, and then play us. So they could be 5-1 as well, and riding a pretty good momentum streak heading into it. I also think we win because I just can't. I just feel like we'll flip the tide on them. But
we have to. 6 in a row would be insane against them.
Yeah, it's just a weird.
6 in a row?
It's a weird team to like own us in that sense. Like, how can you be owned by Minnesota? So I think it's a not good matchup for it. It's coming off of a tough stretch, as we said.
Yep.
But I'm still in. So we're 6-1. Heading to the Wild Nest.
And that one, I will say, that's one that like a lot of our own Husker media is saying we dropped that one, and it makes it even more uncomfortable to hear that.
Yeah, I think, that's what, especially if you're kind of looking at it like a 8-4, like most people are predicting. You've got
that's when you got to lose.
Michigan, Minnesota.
You're gonna lose 4. That's one of them, right?
Yeah, Michigan, Minnesota, USC, and Penn State seems to be like kind of 4 people are looking at. But I don't know. I'm into that. So we're 6-1. We got Northwestern on deck. Saturday, October 25th, at Memorial Stadium.
Oh my God! Forget it.
Northwestern is dramatically different than these Fitz teams. They were 4-8 last year in David Braun's 3rd year. They were 8-5 a couple years ago when David Braun took over, when he won Coach of the Year, and then they fell apart. Went 4-8 last year. Their offense completely collapsed. They're nationally the bottom 10. They've got 15 transfers, but
they're bottom 10.
None of them are. Their QB's from SMU. He's not that good. They call him a good deep ball thrower, but their offensive line dramatically struggles. 123rd nationally. Defense is ahead of the offense in the top 40, but this just isn't the Northwesterns of old. They aren't quite that, like the way that Fitz had those guys ready to go and would, basically, if you look back at our Winsipedia over the last 10 seasons, it's every other game for the last 10 years they won.
Wasn't it like even years or odd years we won or something like that? And then it was crazy.
Yeah. Talk through yours. I'm going to restart my camera here really quick. So keep going through yours.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team you can't lose to. I don't mean to ruffle anybody's feathers and get anybody hot under the collar and mention the word Bo Pelini, but people we took for granted when we would just beat teams like this. Like, this was a game that it was just, it's Northwestern. We've got more talent. We should have better coaching. We should have better strategy. They are pits. They are real pits. I mean, they are 66th in their 2-year transfer ranking. They are 59th in their 5-year talent acquisition. They were 68th this last transfer portal cycle. I mean, they didn't do a thing. It's like they didn't realize that they were 4-8. They're still not even playing in a stadium. I don't know. I can't even go there. I can't entertain a loss against Northwestern. I think this is like the 59-7 coming out party win. I think this is a big
That'd be fun.
I think at least by 21.
Okay, I'm into it. 7-1. 7-1 heading to USC.
I mean, that sounds really good, by the way.
I mean, any like it's like we're so deprived. Like honestly, 4-3 heading into USC would still be thrilling. Like every victory is so thrilling, but like the fact that we have a potential chance to be 7-1 and playing meaningful football in November. I think we said this last year. Didn't we say we're gonna start like 6-1, 7-1? We just kind of didn't, but we will this time because we're back. But that's November. Let's do. Let's see if I can get these guys back up. Let's do some props for 7-1.
Yeah. Let's get back into it. So we got. What was our next one down there? Oh yeah, how many disconcerting signals flags this year? Surprising results. We had an equal number of people that said 0, still mad about it, and then we had an equal number to that said as many as the Big Ten allows, which I think that number might be like 1 per year actually. So, like I think you're only allowed to call it once. And we're the only team in the history of football that has ever had disconcerting signals ever called against us because the Big Ten hates us. On to the next one. How many targeting calls against us? 0, 1, 2 to 3 as the third answer, and then 4 plus. Looks like the hefty majority there answered out of we had 100 respondees on that one. 2 to 3. I think that's probably correct. That's where I'd come in. It just seems like every year there's one that's, at least one that's fairly devastating.
Usually, I was going to say it's got to be crippling.
Then, Nate Jerry had like 12. And then, 4 just feels like too many. 1 is what I hope is the answer. Moving on to the next one. Who leads the team in receptions? This one was interesting because we had a pretty even output here. I did throw Emmett Johnson in there. I don't think it's going to be him, but I think he's going to have a sneaky number because, again, like we're hearing all spring, right? Like Raiola, he's becoming better at taking what's there. He's becoming way better at just like managing the team, managing the offense. And like for Holgerson, that involves the running back in catching passes out of the backfield a lot. But EJ only got 6.5%. Jacory got 44.7%, and then Dane Key took it barely at 46.3%, and then Hunter at 2.4%. I think that's probably right. That Dane Key at 48 or 46. I think the people have spoken, and I think they're typically correct. However, Jacory had 55 receptions. That was tied a freshman record at Nebraska. I mean, he was a pretty favorite target of Raiola.
So I think I think like we said earlier, like both these guys having 800 yards would be fantastic. Both of them having a ton of catches would be fantastic. Yeah. I would lean towards Dane Key, hopefully having more. I'd like to see him be the third down back. I'd like to see him be like a real go-to guy. Like he got the single digit yesterday. It seems like he's a real leader and a captain on the field. And I think the more times you can feed him, the better. I mean, I think Jacory is just not as much of a like. We need a consistent. We need him like to be a spark plug. I just feel like you get. I don't know if Jacory needs 40 touches a game, but I think like Dane Key needs a lot. So I hope Dane Key is the answer.
I mean, you would love for him to just be Trey Palmer, and then by the way, you have to worry about Jacory and Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
You would love to just have an alpha. And I think that he is actually probably the closest that we have to an alpha that can get open at all times. Just a random left turn here that I put in kind of at the end, but good to talk about it now. Like I actually think that Dane Key and Jacory and Hunter as well, but Dane Key in particular, like he can be such a difference maker for Raiola. Raiola was in like the bottom 15, I believe it was, against man coverage last year, but he was in the top 15 against zone coverage. We just didn't have someone that could like really reliably win those battles until Jacory started coming on. So anyway,
not to say Hunter too. I mean, I was watching some of his film today. Like he can go up and get it. I think the three of those guys, it adds a nice dynamic to the offense. So I think that's a good trio.
Yeah. Yeah, Key he's an NFL receiver. Like,
Very good.
he's gotta be that dude for us.
Yeah. Do one more and then we'll jump back in.
All right, no problem. We got tight end with most receiving yards. This was actually the most even poll that we've put up so far. So Heinrich Harburg, former quarterback fame, 31.2%. And then Lindenmeyer, as most receiving yards, got 35.1%. And then Nelson got 33.8%. I mean, that is that's a 3-horse race right there.
Have we, this is random aside, but have we established who our backup quarterback is? Like, is that firmly established?
No, but this week, I would say we've heard some whispers of Latif coming along as a kind of a true freshman.
Is Heinrich in consideration for it or no?
No, not anymore. Because
At all?
you got Latif, you've got Marcos Davila, and then Jalen Gramstad.
Yeah.
Grandpa Gramstad is in his 6th year coming out of NAIA football.
Yeah. I guess I was like oddly reassured when I was watching Harburg catch passes at tight end. I was like, all right, if Rayola goes down for whatever reason, at least we still have a guy who's our starting quarterback 3 years ago. But then I was like, wait, he's literally, I'm like watching you catch passes that's tight end.
And he's learning to block out wide. He's a little focused on a different part of the playbook.
Interesting that people think he might have the most receiving yards. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And then I think they actually might be right. They love Harburg, man. He's just he's a gamer. The guy works so incredibly hard. I was actually interested that Lindmeyer came out on top because I think he's our best run blocker, but I wouldn't put him over Harburg or Nelson.
Macway.
Yeah.
He was good until he wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark Macway. Yeah, last one, then we'll get back to the schedule. So Huskers' school record for touchdown receptions in a season is 12 by Quincy Enunwa in 2013. He actually had beat out Johnny Rogers, who had 11 until that record fell. Will that record be broken this year by anybody? So Field versus Quincy Enunwa. We had 35% said yes. I mean,
that's a lot.
Somebody's got to be raking them in.
I mean, it's a touchdown every game.
Enunwa was good.
It's a touchdown every game.
He just turned it on. Yeah,
it's a touchdown every game and likely 1 or 2. Which,
I mean, you gotta put up 5 against Houston Baptist Christian.
Well, yeah, again, it's like if you start those first 3 games and you have 7 or something, and you have 3 against Houston,
and you just trot the rest of the way.
Yeah, I just think doing that in today's schedule with Michigan and Penn State and USC on your schedule, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't think that's going down this year. I think that we've got too many weapons too many mouths to feed. Like if Trey Palmer couldn't do it, he was the only guy we were throwing to. Then I don't think so. All right.
Back to our schedule. We're in the home stretch.
Home stretch, baby.
We've got game 9 against USC, game 10 against UCLA, game 11 against Penn State, and game 12 against Iowa. And then the Big Ten championship against what's likely going to be Ohio State, it sounds like. So 5 more games.
Yeah.
Which when we are 10-2, we will qualify for the Big Ten championship. USC is interesting because so USC is Friday, November 1st. I will hopefully be in attendance at that game. They were 7-6 last year under Lincoln Riley in his 4th year. He has not been the star that he was at Oklahoma in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think they were better than their win-loss record would show last year. 5 of their 6 losses last year were 1-score games, which is crazy. Welcome to the league, boys. They had 4th quarter leads in almost every game and just blew the lead. Their offensive line was statistically one of the best in America. 9th in OL run push, 8th in pass protection. Lincoln Riley's offense typically featured the conference's #1 quarterback rating, but it fell apart last year. They just was not as good as historical.
Yeah.
So I think there's that. And then, we've never beaten them, so we're on 5. So we definitely have to factor that part in, that we have not beaten a USC team ever. They are #1 nationally in 2026, but that's next year. We can deal with that later. I guess what I keep coming back to is more like, I just wasn't impressed with them at all last year, and that was a Lincoln Riley third-year team. I really didn't think they were that good. I really felt like we should have won that game. And I struggle with that because I just felt like we outplayed them the entire game. I felt like we played a great defensive game. I feel like offense had no issues moving the ball on them. And so I think that's where I'm sitting there like, it doesn't seem like they've done enough. They're not the USC of old. He doesn't have the playmakers that they used to have. He doesn't have the Pete Carroll level playmakers. I'm not sold on them. What do you think of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I until we chatted with Brett, who is way smarter than both of us combined, I had it as a win, but he brought up some good points. And honestly, I think that the thing that scares me a little bit more is I think their defense is actually finally getting a little bit better. Maeva, does not scare me as much as like maybe he should, because I know that Lincoln Riley is the quarterback whisperer and everything, but Danton Lynn he came over from UCLA as their defensive coordinator, and he actually made some big strides last year. And I think that those will continue. USC is starting to stockpile some talent. Like Lincoln Riley's always been a solid recruiter. They went big in the transfer portal. They had a top 15 ranking, in their 2-year transfer ranking is 15th overall. I mean, they're stacking up a little bit of talent and stuff there. I got that one down as a loss for us.
Oh my God, forget it.
Well, you asked.
Okay. And then I think we win this game. And I'm looking at their schedule, which I like to do. So they'll probably start 3-0. They play Missouri State, that's a win. Georgia Southern's a win. They'll beat Purdue. Yeah. They'll beat Michigan State, that's 4-0. But then they go into this tough stretch here right before playing us. Yeah. So they play at Illinois. That's a tough game for the USC Pretty Boys to go to Illinois in late September and play a Bielema ground and pound. That's a tough matchup. Okay. They follow that up with a Michigan game. Then they play Notre Dame, and we are the week after. Maybe they got a bye week in between Notre Dame and us. But we're following an Illinois, Michigan, Notre Dame stretch where they're just going to get beat up pretty good in that stretch. So this could be a 3-3 team, a 4-3 team. If they lose at Illinois, Michigan, Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I love it.
Yeah, I don't know.
USC's over-under is 7.5.
Yeah, that's where I respect Brett and what he was saying, but I think there's an element to me of like, if any team is not suited for that stretch of playing Illinois, Michigan, even before that, playing Michigan State, Illinois, Michigan, Notre Dame, 4 straight games. It's just not, they're used to playing Washington State and Arizona, and to grind it out and fly to Illinois and then fly back and play Michigan and fly. Then they got to fly to South Bend and play Notre Dame. Sure. So they're traveling all over the place.
I like what you're putting down.
And they're playing at Purdue. God, that is brutal. I just like this. This makes me laugh about the Big Ten when you're a USC fan and you're like, wait, we have to go play in Indiana. Then they come back and play at USC. Then they go fly to Champaign, Illinois. Oh, yeah. Then they got to go to South Bend, Indiana. So USC players have to go to Indiana twice in a 3-week span before coming and playing at Nebraska. So they got to play in Illinois, in Indiana again, and then in Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot.
That to me is like where these West Coast teams really like.
A lot of frequent flyer miles is what that is.
It's frequent flyer miles to like, likely not direct, like flights for the fans, no fans there.
Like 7 flights to get to Champaign, Illinois.
I mean, this is the stuff. It's only in year 2, but this is the stuff where, like, when you're used to just flying to, UCLA every year, or your big flights are up to Oregon, but they're all playing the same style of offense on the West Coast. This is different. Like, you're going to get bled out by Purdue, you're going to get bled out by Michigan State, you're going to get bled out by Illinois. Like, they are bruised and broken by the time they see us. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just not that impressed with them. I think it's a win. So I'm still sitting at. We're going into game 10. So I'm 7-2. You're 6-3.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Michigan. No, wait.
Yeah. You said a loss to
USC, Michigan.
No, you said we were going to beat Michigan. You said we were going to lose to
USC, Michigan State, I mean?
and Minnesota.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, I said we'd win. I said we'd beat Minnesota.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did.
Are you only had 2 losses then? All right.
Yeah.
We can both be at 7-2. That's okay.
Yeah.
Although I'm 8-1. So yeah, there it is. I'm 8-1. You're 7-2.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. We got it. We're back on.
We're back. We're live.
Yeah.
All right. Game 10, UCLA. UCLA, Saturday, November 8th at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, playing Deshaun Foster in his second year. They finished 5-7 last year. They started 1-5 last year, finished 5-7. Picked up Nico Iamaleava from Tennessee, one of the major offseason transfer portal additions. He was a 5-star coming out of high school. He played okay at Tennessee, demanded more money, wouldn't get it from Tennessee, transfers over to UCLA. They're optimistic that he's going to be the difference maker for them. Sure. But he was okay at Tennessee. They've had a mass exodus of starters in the transfer portal. The recruiting has struggled tremendously. They're not that good. They made an offensive coordinator switch to Tino Sunseri from Indiana, who's, he runs a smart, physical, fast, poised, disciplined offense. Offensive line is complete disaster, 121st in OL, run push. I felt like this was the biggest disaster of the entire season last year.
Correct.
Just an absolute catastrophe.
I mean, I didn't see it coming, to be honest. They were nothing, and they came in and just killed us.
Yeah, I mean, they started 1-5, and they just absolutely worked us.
The only reason we scored is because they got like 6 personal fouls. Remember that?
Yeah, we couldn't do it.
They bailed us out. They got like 2 or 3 on one drive that like literally marched us down the field. It was our best play all game. Was just like make UCLA do something stupid. They wanted us to win.
Yeah, it was just
but we just would not. But I mean, crazy things that have happened at UCLA in the transfer portal as well. As one of their best transfers coming in was supposed to be coming with Joey Aguilar before. His name's Caden Robinson. The NCAA apparently denied his eligibility. I don't know where that's at now, but don't get him anymore. See you later. So he's gone. And then their stud receiver that beat us up pretty good, J. Michael Sturdivant, if you remember that. Sturdivant.
Yeah, of course.
Name. Yeah, he crushed us. He's gone. So I just think they got hit pretty hard. They got hit hard in the transfer portal. They got hit. They have the 114th ranked returning productions on defense. They have the 72nd returning production on offense. I just don't think that their cupboard is stocked enough. And I don't think we're going to be sleeping on them this time. And I also think that the amount of Huskers out in California stand up and shout and show UCLA how to actually cheer at a football game, please. Thank you. And that's going to be a Husker home game victory.
Yep, I like that. I'm in for a W. I just think that was humiliating last year. It was absolutely atrocious. This is not a good football team. It's not well coached. Not a good team. Doesn't have talent.
Love the Rail versus Nico storyline, though. I don't know.
Great storyline.
Two big young quarterbacks, very different paths and stuff here.
And there's a quick schedule check for them. They start at Utah, may lose that game, so they could be 0-1. They'll beat UNLV, New Mexico, Northwestern. They'll lose to Penn State, so that'll be their second loss. Then they got to fly to Michigan State, may lose that one, come back to Maryland. Then they got to fly to Indiana, and then they play us. And then we are playing them the week before they play Ohio State. So, again, I think like these late season games are very interesting to me, especially when you have these West Coast teams that have to fly to Michigan State, fly to Indiana, fly to Northwestern. They're going to go to Evanston. They're going to go to Michigan State. They're going to go to Indiana. Like, I think it does wear on the team that you got to do all these like crazy trips across the country like that.
You would think.
And then playing us the week before UCLA or the week before Ohio State, excuse me. Yeah. So
Solid Verbal would call that a look down or a let down, look ahead sandwich.
Let down, look ahead sandwich.
And so
Nebraska, UCLA, we're right before they play Ohio State, then they play Washington, and then they play USC. So they've got a tough schedule. Yeah. They probably, what's their over under? It's got to be 6 or something like that.
Oh no, I think I want to say it's like 4.5 to 5.5.
Yeah, it can't be very high. So that's a win. That's a win for me. So I think we are 9-1 heading into Penn State. Is where I'm at.
9-1.
I don't.
Jesus, 9-1.
I mean, yeah, that's you're talking like borderline top 10 matchup against Penn State.
I mean, there's Kool-Aid coming out your eyeballs.
Kool-Aid all over the place. Like, we
Just
find a way to win these
flowing
games,
out the gutters of Lincoln.
which is this to me is then your perfect, like, Penn State's number 1 in the country. We're 9-1. This is set up so perfectly for us to like finally break through. And we play Penn State, and it's like an absolute catastrophic blowout. Like a Bo Pelini level, like 63-3, like you're nowhere near ready for like the big time type game. Right? It's just like, what what are we doing here? I think this Penn State team, everybody's pretty high on them. They're 13-3 last year under James Franklin. They're preseason number 1. A lot of people have them as a national title team. They bring back starting QB, running back, a whole host of wide receivers. They hired the best defensive coordinator in the country in Jim Knowles, who turned Ohio State's defense into the best defense in history.
Crazy that he left like the week after winning a title.
They paid him.
Do the same thing at one of their conference rivals.
I think they paid him like $2 or $3 million or something. He's the highest paid.
I'm pretty sure it's 3. Yeah,
he's the highest paid coordinator in the country.
Goodness, Penn State, they are all in.
Katron Allen, Nicholas Singleton. I mean, they've been knocking on the doorstep for a decade and haven't been able to figure it out. So, it's PFF's got it as like the only game we're definitely not going to win. I think it's at Penn State too, and I've been there. The place is ridiculously hard to play. Their schedule is ridiculously easy the entire year, so we can't even do this like back and forth thing for them. They got an easy schedule. So I feel, I think it'd be awesome. But this one kind of fits into that category of like the Ohio State game of last year. Where you're like, if we play it close, awesome. Right. But if not, like, okay, we're 9-2 heading into the final game of the year.
Yeah, I mean, if you play it close in Happy Valley, I actually don't know if they've announced the time for that yet. It's not a night game there, is it? That would suck. But anyway,
they haven't said that yet. No.
I'm sure there will be Husker fans out in droves to break up the whiteout a little bit, but that is a loaded roster. Like they have 2 5-star running backs and a 5-star quarterback, and all of them stayed around. All of them could have left to either other programs willing to pay them $1 bajillion or the NFL for. And Aller might be one of. I mean, he may be a top 5 pick next year.
It's got the Michigan vibes of the Harbaugh year when he was able to convince
they're
JJ McCarthy to come back.
We're just not there yet.
All right. So I'm at 9-2 heading into Iowa. You are at 8-3 heading into Iowa. Is that right?
9 and
I'm 9-2, or no? Yeah, I'm 9-2, and you're 8-3. That's gotta be right. 11 games heading into the Iowa game.
Yes, I'm 8-2. Yeah.
So Iowa Friday game, November 28th, Black Friday as usual, and Iowa's Iowa. They exact same. They've got their formula: best defense, special teams, terrible offense. They do it every single year. It seems like it's the exact same. They're all buzzing about this new quarterback who came from Division III, who they think is going to be good. He's not going to be good. They have nothing around them. They got no offensive line. They have no, they're like, oh, we've got an FCS quarterback, Mark Gronowski. It's come on, you can't have like a South Dakota State quarterback come in and like run things for you.
Yeah.
It's just that doesn't do anything for me. The thing that they are unbelievable at is they didn't have a first down last year and they won. And like 2 years ago, they find the most unbelievable ways to win. They're unbelievably sound defensively. They're unbelievably sound on special teams. But I think this to me though is like, I think there are so many like breakthrough points here. I think there's letdowns on the schedule, as we mentioned. Like I think Penn State's like a very clear, we're not there yet. I think and Michigan for me, or maybe it's USC, ends up being like, hey, we're not quite there yet. But I think the breakthrough games that Matt Rule in like the year 3 to get the year 3 Matt Rule bump, these are the games that you win. And I just think we are in a different trajectory than Iowa. I think they're coming down, we're going up, and their schedule is a nightmare too. Like they could have like 5 or 6 losses at this point. Mm-hmm. So I it's a win for me. I also hate them.
Wow. 10 and 2 from Dave.
10-2.
I mean, God, it's just we've been through just so much trauma, and I hate the fact that Iowa's offense is, I mean, it has to be better. Like,
No, it doesn't. It's been bad for a decade.
And they did have a good rushing offense last year. They and their O line actually was better than it had been. In 2023, they had the nation's best defense per play, and then they had the nation's worst offense per play. Last year, they were just slightly better than that, but it was better with their new offensive coordinator, Tim Lester. I mean, Caleb Johnson last year rushed for 1,500 yards. So, like, it's not all doom and gloom for Iowa's offense last year. It just, like, is absolutely shocking that they can beat you without getting a first down. And it's the most staggering statistic I've ever heard. And they beat us 13-10 2 straight years. All that being said, there is no freaking way that we lose in Lincoln this year to Iowa.
I don't think so.
Just no way. It just can't happen. I mean, we've won one of the last 10. It's bananas.
It's terrible.
And this is that meme. They can't keep getting away with this. Like they just can't. It's just unbelievable. So I don't see it. I think Gronowski is probably going to be good. I think their offense is probably going to be better. But I think our offense is going to be a little bit better as well. And our offense, frankly, last year, that's kind of who let us down. Nair dropping that ball in the final waning moments of that game, that's a win. And that's it's plays like that I think we should be putting it out of reach this time around. That would put me at 9-3 and you at 10-2, Dave.
Well, and I also think the difference of Iowa here. I mean, Iowa, who's been knocking on the door of like 8, 9, 10 wins every year for the last 10 years. I think this could be very different. They got Iowa State, who they always struggle with. They've got Indiana, who knows how good this Indiana team's going to be. They've got Wisconsin, Penn State, Minnesota, Oregon, and USC. I mean, this could be a 6-6 Iowa team. Yeah. They're not going to beat Oregon. They're not going to beat Penn State. They're not going to beat I don't think they beat, maybe they don't beat a USC. Like, you're looking at 3, 4, 5 losses on the schedule, Minnesota. So that's where I'm thinking that this comes in as like a beaten down team. That's not the typical, like, we're 9-3 kind of knocking on the doorstep type team. So, but yeah, I'm at 10-2. I mean, I went from literally 3 weeks ago. I was like, I hope we make a bowl game. To I just needed a couple weeks of camp. And
the wheels are off, baby.
I feel great. I just this is my curse is I look at the schedule and I'm like, I still look at Minnesota and I see them as the team in 2011 that I was like, this conference stinks. And I've just never changed my perspective on them. Even though they beat us 5 straight times, I'm like, nah, they stink. They're not good. And USC doesn't have Reggie Bush, and so I'm just like, we're not going to lose to them because they don't have Reggie Bush or Matt Leinart, so we're going to be fine.
I just keep saying things that are like sort of irrational because they didn't happen, but I keep saying, like, if our offense was a touchdown better last year per game, we would have won 9 games. And the reality is that they weren't a touchdown better because they weren't a touchdown better. They just were what they were. So
we also, we had the
worst. Say that.
Yeah, we had the worst offensive coordinator in the country, who somehow is still on our roster.
And now we have the best, though. So you got to figure, like, it honestly might be worth, I would say, 4 to 7 points per game just having Holgorsen calling plays.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big curveball on all this is, like, what if he dials up just like an absolutely awesome offense?
Yeah. True.
Crazy variable there.
True. Hit me with the last couple of our prop bets here, and we'll round this thing out.
Yeah, fire away.
All right. So we have our next one up that the team voted on. So scroll up just a tiny bit so I can read it. All right. The last 5 seasons. This is actually one of the more staggering statistics here. Over the last 5 seasons, our punt return leaders have been IGC. He had 11 returns for 60 yards. We had Billy Kemp. Remember him? Six punt returns for 24 yards. Trey Palmer had 4. Trey Palmer, I mean, he's an NFL receiver back there, had only returned the ball 4 times for 36 yards. And then we had Oliver Martin, for God's sake. 3 returns for 19 yards, was our leading punt returner that year. Click on show more for me. And then what was 2020? Oh, yeah, Cam Taylor-Britt. He had 6 returns for 79 yards. So that's 118 total punt return yards from our number one punt returners combined over the last 5 years. 118 punt return yards by the best returners on our team. So the question then was, well, how many punt return yards are we going to have this year? Ja'Cory Barney says, I want to lead the nation in punt return yards. I'm sure Eckler wants him to do so as well. I'm sure that unit is going to be improved as well. The leading consensus was he'll have 119 to 175 yards. The second place vote was 51 to 118 yards. And then third was 176 plus. I think if it's Ja'Cory Barney back there, I am such a Ja'Cory Barney truther that I'm all in on like 200 plus.
Okay. I mean, I don't understand why. Like, it's been the most confusing thing to me over the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, we're the only team in the country that just straight up doesn't.
I mean, how is that possible?
We just don't return punts.
How is it possible that 4 out of the last 5 years we haven't had a player on the team that has returned 10 punts?
We just fair catch everything. It's a joke.
I mean, we got to make that a dynamic position with the playmakers that we have. All right, on to the next one. So Ty Robinson, he had 7 sacks in 2024. They were the most since 2019, most on our team since 2019. Will somebody on the D-line get that over 7 this year? And if so, who? Choices were Winery, Keona Davis, RVP, or Lenhart. I kind of agree with this one that Keona Davis is going to go off. That would be my choice. How did you vote?
Yeah, Shavers is good.
Sure. There wasn't an option in that one, though, on the D-line.
Oh, you're on D-line. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. God, I would love for Nwaneri to be.
Oh, my, yeah.
I'd love for him to have like 1,000.
Well, so would I.
He's my vote only because I want that to happen so badly.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, RVP would be awesome, but
yep,
I think he's got that it factor that would, like, if he could do it, it'd be like truly transcendent.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, he's going to be the center point of our defense there. I actually read that wrong. It looks like, the fans voted RVP at 30%, Keona Davis second at 27.5%, Lenhart third at 26.3%, and Winery last. It sounds like Winery is going to kind of struggle for playing time, at least at first, but that guy is a beast in the waiting. He will be a monster if he develops correctly. For the linebackers, who leads in sacks, we got MWT, Marcus Watson-Trent, Desan McCullum, Vincent Shavers, Willis McGahee, and the crowd has voted for Willis McGahee. You said Shavers. I love that pick. I mean, he was a stud in the Pinstripe Bowl, especially showed kind of what he could do. I think it's going to be McCullough, actually. I just think that guy is like, what a great find that was. He's rated as a 5-star on some sites, comes from Oklahoma, big-time playing experience. Like, that was just such a good get by this team.
I agree. I want Shavers to win for sacks, though.
Yeah.
McGahee would be sweet, too.
Yeah. Who's going to lead the team in tackles? This one was overwhelmingly Marcus Watson-Trent, who comes over to us as the Conference USA Player of the Year. Again, another amazing transfer get right there. I think he's just been so productive. Like, he's one of those guys where, like, forget the star rankings, forget where he came from. He's had literally hundreds of tackles. I think it's 365 total in his career. Just let the man go to work. And the crowd voted for him over Singleton, Hartzog, and McCullough. 2019 was the last year our defense had more interceptions than our offense threw. 11 in 2024 was the most that was most since that season. How many interceptions for the Black Shirts in 2025? And the crowd has voted 7 to 8 interceptions total. Second place was 9 to 11. I think that we could get to that 1 per game. I mean, this is an experienced enough secondary. Do you agree?
It'd be sweet.
12. More than
That'd be
12?
sweet.
Do I hear more than 12?
No, I mean,
That's a lot.
we had a bunch last year, which was fun. Couple pick sixes.
Yeah.
It's fun when they're good. It means that we're getting pressure.
Speaking of, who do you got leading the team in interceptions?
Gosh, I mean, Sierra would be awesome, like everybody voted. But I think it's like the answer to any of these, like, yeah, I think Wright will. But I also think the answer, if it's Hartzog, means the secondary is awesome.
Right.
So it's like the answer is almost like you almost want the guy in second to win.
Yes.
Just purely because that means like him and Sierra both have like 5 each.
Yeah. I think I've got a sneaky pick for Andrew Marshall. Give me the plus odds on that one.
Okay.
He should be starting at cornerback opposite Sierra Wright. I think Sierra Wright's going to just lock down the entire country. So they're going to throw his way a little bit more.
Okay.
How many players combined end up on Big Ten first, second, or third team? We had most votes for 3 to 4 players. That's a good year.
Well, how many did we have last year? 1?
I don't even
like this one.
Yeah, no, Ty Robinson. Yeah.
This one drives me nuts every year because it's like how
first,
it's like
first, second, or third.
This and the NFL draft drive me nuts from it's the one external look at, like, we guzzle the Kool-Aid, we think our players are freaking awesome, and we get to the end of the year and we're like, wait, oh my God, we didn't have a single good player on our team. Like, how did we not have a single player drafted? Why did we not have any players on the first, second, or third team? 3 to 4 would be unbelievable. It would mean Raiola, Dane Key, and RVP potentially, or like one of the line. I mean, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
The question becomes, who are they? It would literally be Raiola, Dane Key, Emmett Johnson.
Yeah.
Maybe mix in
Marcus Watson trying as he might just rake in on tackles. All right. How many touchdown passes for Raiola?
How many you have last year?
13.
Oh, so that wasn't even an option.
No, God, no.
You just listed 15.
He's blowing that up. It looks like even spread between 17 to 20 and then 21 to 23. And then we do have some Raiola lovers and followers and disciples at 18.4% said 24 or more, averaging 2+ per game.
I think the variable is the Holgerson offense is like, are we lighting it up? Are we throwing a bunch more? Because 13 in the worst offense of all time is pretty good.
I think the school record's 26 by Taylor. I think they had 1 year. I want to say
24 is a lot, but like, man, these guys who put up big numbers for Jane Daniels had didn't Jade Daniels have like 38 or something?
Yeah, it's like just so like people do that every year.
Like Joe Burrow had like 39 touchdowns for LSU. What do you have, 50? Like
I don't know, it was close.
Like, we make it look impossible to get 13. And you look across the country and you're like, wait, he had how many?
Absolutely. All right, on to the next one. Well, the next ones were jokes. And it was basically about how many Runzas and how many Valentinos will you consume this year. And I mean, I'm at least 1 per game if I'm going to all the home games. Let's get down to who's going to go. Yeah, Raiola led the true freshman in completion percentage in 2024 at 67.1%. Will he go over or under that mark? We had a staggering 87.5% said over. I think so too, but it's actually a pretty good mark there.
Yeah, 67 is strong, but you're factoring in how many 11 interceptions in a lot of really bad games.
Yeah.
And a new offensive coordinator, better offense, easier offense to understand. I think all those things
love it.
Make that over better.
Now, will he break Joey Gann's single season record with 3,568 yards in a single season? We had 59% said under, but 40.7% said he's going over. That means he would be throwing for about, what is that, say 700 more than he did last year?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I'd say under only because I remember that season so vividly, and he threw the absolute heck out of that ball.
Oh my God, he had like 500.
Every single game
Yeah,
in a lot of like shootout type games,
right.
right? Like there was just like, high scoring shootout games. And that's just not what the Big Ten is.
Sure.
It's, you don't throw for 3,500 yards against Iowa and Minnesota and Michigan State. So that's the only reason I say under is like that was just a different offense, and he absolutely threw that. I mean, he was lighting it up every single week.
Every week. All right, moving down. Will Archie Wilson punt more with his left foot or his right foot? Looks like most of you said don't care, just pin him deep. All right, well, anyway, we'll move on to the next one. Who will be the first backup quarterback to play? So to answer your question from earlier, the people have spoken and said Jalen Gramstad. I think that's probably correct. And then Latif, I would say only really if Raiola, like if he were to get, season ender in game one. Like I think Latif is redshirt until proven otherwise. Who will finish the season with the most field goals made? This was our second most even question between Cunahan, Alvano, and Hole. The people with 173 votes said Hole is going to have the most field goals. Gosh, I'm having a tough time with that one. I think it might be Cunahan. Just I don't know. I guess he hasn't really missed, and they kind of brought him in here to be our kicker. I would think. I don't know. I literally don't know. That's like a complete guess.
I mean, it would be nice if Alvano one of these years ever lived up to the hype, and it seems like he's just not going to. So yeah, I guess we got to resort to Cunahan and Hole. Hole won me over last year with all those kicks he made.
Sure. I mean, eventually he made them.
Yeah, right after the slow start.
A little bit. Nebraska has not had a punt return for touchdown since 2019. This was a fun. Yeah, 2019, been a bit. Last kick return touchdown was 2017. And the fun fact on those is that both of them were by J.D. Spielman. The last punt return was J.D. Spielman. Last kick return was J.D. Spielman. How many total returned touchdowns for the squad this year? The people have voted. They rocked the vote with 45.4% going to one return touchdown this year. I think that's right. I mean, God, I don't know. I'm such a Jacor. You know what? I'm going with two. Why not?
I mean, it's just a reps thing. Like we just haven't even had a chance to take a kickback, so there's nobody even gets any. Nobody even does anything. One would be life changing. I'll take one.
I just forgot what it feels like. It's the best. Who finishes second to Emma Johnson in rushing touchdowns? I think this is our last one here, and it looks like we've got a vote for Makai Nelson. I mean, and then actually second place, Ja'Cory Barney. It's interesting. Third, Quentin Ives, and fourth, Raiola.
Barney would be good.
Barney would be sick, but Nelson, I mean that's kind of my final thing on the entire pod is if you ask me what the one thing missing from this team is, it's depth at just a couple positions, and running back is, it's one of those positions. It's a big one. So we need Makai Nelson to come through big, and it sounds like they like him. I hope they like him as much as they're at least saying on air.
Love it. That'd be awesome. That was quite a list. Let's wrap this bad boy up. Everybody, 10-2. You heard it here first. Kool-Aid's flowing. Thanks, everybody, for listening. This is the Husk Guys podcast. Check out the HuskGuysStore.com. Get yourself some new swag heading into the season. The boys are ready. Full deep dive. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, baby.
And as always,
that was fun.
Go Big Red.